It was Central Asia's cradle of culture for more than 2 millennia. Uzbekistan, home to a storied history and a wealth of architectural wonders from days of old. But its modern history is far less romantic. For 60 years, Uzbekistan had been closed to the world. First, as a secret military research base under the Soviet Union, and later, as a hermit state under an authoritarian government. It was only in 2017 when things changed.
Uzbekistan today is conducting very serious reforms. I can even compare that with Chinese historical periods when they had the opening up.
A new president has taken over. Uzbekistan is now open for business, and the money is pouring in. Leading the charge is China, who want Uzbekistan in on its Belt and Road Master Plan.
乌兹的人口占中亚5国人口的1半，而且劳动力的素质是非常高。
Spectacular plans are underway for a Silk Road of cereals. You're hoping to make China your biggest market then?
Yes, yes.
Along with ambitious plans to transform some of the oldest and most mysterious cities on the Silk Road. Will Central Asia once again be the center of global trade? A Belt and Road initiative linking China and Russia has sparked celebration and concern.
Rival powers, Russia and China. Russia, and with China.
Russia or China?
In my journey along the road to Russia, I'll visit China's border cities with Russia. This entire city is lit in gold.
这里是第15届中俄蒙美丽使者国际大赛。
I'll discover the splendors of Mongolia with its untapped riches.
Like a house on wheels. Yeah.
Mysterious Uzbekistan through its stunning cities. And I'll explore the Kremlin and the power it wields. This is my journey through one of China's key economic corridors on its Belt and Road. I'm in the far west of Uzbekistan in Central Asia. And around me, for 650 kilometers, is desert in every direction. Over here, the great ships of the desert are the camels. It was these magnificent animals that carried treasure east to west on the ancient Silk Road. Along this mighty trading route, China sent paper-making technology to the Arab world and in turn received Islam. Cotton and Buddhism traveled east from India to China. And silk was carried thousands of kilometers in these deserts to reach Rome. All right, this way. Hey, hey. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Man, it must have not been easy for the travelers back then because these camels have a mind of their own. Come on, let's go. There we go. Good job, boy. Good boy, good boy. Oh, man. Oh. All right. I hope you have insurance. Of course, there wasn't any insurance in those days, and many traveling traders didn't survive those long, difficult trips. But those who did profited handsomely. The ancient Silk Road was the very first form of globalization in action, and Uzbekistan saw plenty of that action. The country boasted some of the most important cities in the route. And here's one of them, Bukhara. Bukhara was a great trading city 2,500 years ago. It offered water and shelter to weary travelers going to and from China, and a thriving market for which to trade. And I couldn't have picked a better time to come. This is the Bukhara Silk and Spices Festival, an annual event celebrating Bukhara's ancient Silk Road links. People of all ages come out to celebrate their folk songs and traditional dances. All these costumes and performances we're seeing now were already in existence on the ancient Silk Road. So I can imagine that if you came here thousands of years ago, you'd enter the city and be blown away by all the exotic colors and sounds. The city may be ancient, but its people are young. In this country, 60% of the population is below the age of 30, and parties are lively affairs. Everybody seems to be in high spirits. In the past, traders from China heading to Europe passed through the city on caravans loaded with silks and spices. They came to meet the city's master craftsmen, experts on pottery, embroidery, carpets, and more. The city was also famous for its blacksmiths. Bukharan knives were legendary for their extra sharp blades. They were handy deterrents against bandit raids, a common feature on any Silk Road expedition. These would have fetched a princely sum back in those early days of global trade. The traders have long stopped coming. They've since been replaced by tourists. One group of tourists in particular stand out.
今天那个早上活动怎么样？活动这边的那个还行。今天晚上还有那个更多晚会，7点你们会那个准备好去可以参加，还有跳舞一下吗？可以跳舞他很行的，很厉害的他。好，再见，谢谢大家，拜拜。
Since the launch of the Belt and Road Initiative, there's been a surge in tourism in many ancient Silk Road cities. All thanks to the Chinese, who are promoting the Silk Road in earnest. Hey, so your Mandarin's pretty good, huh?
对，我会讲中文，我在大学学汉语，还有我在广东外贸大学学了1年，在广州那边。对。
My Mandarin's terrible.
Oh.
So why did you study Mandarin?
A lot of tourists from China is coming, and there are few people who speak Chinese in Uzbekistan.
Is studying Mandarin popular among your peers?
Yes, so a lot of people now are going to China to study, and we have in Uzbekistan 2 Confucius universities, so where the people go and attend Chinese classes.
Are there more Chinese tourists coming here now?
Yes, this last 2-3 years, like a lot of Chinese people are coming to Uzbekistan because all the cities of Uzbekistan are very ancient and they are in the Silk Road, so that's why they come here to visit.
So tourism dollars coming in from China, that's got to be good for you.
Yes, of course, I can start my own business.
Fantastic, good luck with that.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Tourism is a major industry in Uzbekistan, and it is not just young Uzbeks getting primed for the Chinese wave. Hi, Camille. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
What a beautiful place you have.
Thank you. Let me show you around.
Oh, I'd love to see the rest of it.
Let me show you our beautiful 19th century dining room.
Oh man, look at this. Wow. So this is 19th century.
Yeah, this is original 19th century dining room. It stayed untouched for more than 100 years. So here always used to be parties.
Who was the original owner of this?
The house was built for rich merchants who used to trade watches and clocks.
I'm sure you have to do some repair work from time to time too, though.
But we are going to keep as it is so the people can feel the atmosphere. Nowadays, a lot of business are going on with Chinese companies and big companies, small companies. And of course, when the people coming to work here, they want to show the country where they're working. They will bring more like families and relatives and friends.
You know, today we hear a lot about the new Silk Road in global media. How has that impacted old Silk Road cities like Bukhara?
For sure, I think that more and more people will come to Uzbekistan because it's more publicity about the Silk Road in the last 3-4 years, because it's a big publicity about the Silk Road, about Uzbekistan, and more visitors from China are visiting our country.
Do you have plans to cater to the Chinese tourists?
I think we will hire the person who will speak Chinese, and we probably will translate our webpage to the Chinese language.
China's Silk Road is accelerating change in Central Asia. And change has come, not just from tourism alone. Central Asia, in the minds of the Chinese, is the buckle of the Belt and Road. And many industries here are being transformed.
How important is Central Asia to the overall Belt and Road Initiative?
I think that if we look at the map, we can find that the importance of Central Asia in BRI, because it would be the first stop for China to go out from China on the road of the belt. And also Central Asia region is a very, very important area, not only for Chinese economy, especially for Chinese security. Uzbekistan, I think it's also a very important country in Central Asia. And also Uzbekistan has a very good relations with China, and also both with Russia. So I think it will give a very, very important reason or more important dynamics for China, Russia, and the regional peace and development.
It's not just the ancient cities that are changing. Tashkent, the country's capital, is also getting a makeover. I'm headed there on a high-speed train. From tiny oasis town in the 2nd century BC to Tashkent, a thriving modern metropolis with 2.5 million residents. This place is now Central Asia's biggest city.
There is a legend that Tashkent was halfway between China, where all the silk was coming from, and Europe, its destination.
Tashkent is the seat of government, and Soviet architecture is evident everywhere. That's because Uzbekistan was part of the Soviet Union up until 1991. On that year, the Soviet Union broke apart, and Islam Karimov became president of the newly independent country. But his rule of more than 2 decades was marred by allegations of corruption and human rights abuses. Activists were locked up. Uzbekistan was relatively closed to the rest of the world. Karimov died in 2016, and now the new administration is trying to do things differently. A 5-year plan has been put in place to turbocharge the economy that has been stagnant for years. Now, the excitement can even be felt in the marketplaces. Here at a carnival, a man is about to lift the 300-kilogram camel with his teeth. The strongman is ambitious. So too is Uzbekistan's new government.
government announced its 5-year plan in 2017. The plan is around 5 different areas, and those areas, of course, are covering a wide range of issues, starting from the political system reform and finishing with the economy, social life, and others.
Are you confident it can be achieved?
Of course. I would be honest with you, as a citizen of Uzbekistan, 2.5 years ago, I wasn't a member of the government yet, but I was rather skeptical or cautious about whether we would be able to achieve all those goals. But nowadays, I'm very optimistic.
Uzbekistan today is conducting very serious reforms, and I can even compare that with Japanese or Chinese historical periods when they had the opening up. So we are in a quite historical moment right now.
The new plan, together with China's Belt and Road Initiative, is expected to bring monumental changes to the country. Not only has the Uzbek government signed some $15 billion worth of investment deals on jointly developing the country's oil, gas, and uranium fields, the two governments also agreed to cooperate in building railways, road networks, telecommunications infrastructure, and industrial parks.
China is our major trade partner at the moment. And of course, when we're talking about investments, especially foreign direct investments, China is also number one.
Uzbekistan has captured the world's attention. This is the largest underdeveloped Central Asia market.
In Central Asia, still 70% of the investments go to Kazakhstan, and being Uzbekistan second with 16%. But and nowadays, Uzbekistan is becoming one of the big players because of the, first of all, we have one of the biggest markets, the most dense country in the region, and with 32 million population, of course, it's a big market for investors.
A few years ago, foreign journalists like myself wouldn't even have been allowed to work here. But now the country is welcoming to both media and business. You can feel it in the air. The country is on the cusp of change, and it's an exciting time to be here.
I'm traveling on China's Silk Road in Uzbekistan. And this is the capital city, Tashkent.
One major aspect of China's Silk Road are its railroads. China has built railways across the world. And here in Uzbekistan, yet another ambitious rail connection will soon be underway.
But before I head to the new railway, there's an old rail system I must see.
Man, look at this metro station.
Uzbekistan has a proud history when it comes to railways. This is the Tashkent Metro. Built by the Soviets in 1977, it was Central Asia's first urban rail line. It still is one of the most stunning metros anywhere.
There are 29 stations, each with its own unique architectural theme.
For a long time, there was a photography ban on these secret railway stations. That's because they served another role, as nuclear fallout shelters. Uzbekistan's metro stations were important military installations. It was only in 2018 that the photography ban got lifted, allowing journalists like us to bring you these gorgeous images. There's one dedicated to cotton, the country's main export. One to Uzbek rulers of old. And this one is dedicated to more otherworldly aspirations. It's the cosmonaut station. Celebrating space travel, the stars, and everything celestial. with an array of murals and glass and light shows that confound the mind.
Here is a painting of Gagarin, the first man in space, and he was a Russian. This whole station feels very cool and dark and evokes this feeling like you're in outer space.
The Russians did a decent job getting the city of Tashkent connected, but it is the Chinese who will help connect Uzbekistan to the world.
Uzbekistan is one of two only double landlocked countries in the world. Do you know the second one?
Is it Kazakhstan?
No, that's Liechtenstein in Europe.
Okay.
And double landlocked country means that we have to pass the borders of at least two countries to reach the sea. So all our neighbors are also landlocked countries, and we are double landlocked countries. So for us, the logistics, transport corridors, these are very important. The Belt and Road Initiative, it basically focuses on reintroduction of all this, connectivity between Europe, Asia, so that the goods can, be easily transported from the Yellow Sea, for example, to the Europe. And Uzbekistan is just in the center of this route.
In September 2016, China inaugurated a railway line that runs through Uzbekistan to Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now it wants to build another line, connecting Uzbekistan to Kyrgyzstan and onwards to China.
The railway linking Kabul, which is capital of Afghanistan, and Peshawar, which is in Pakistan. And this will allow us to link the whole railway system of Central Asia, CIS, Europe, with the South Asian railways, Pakistan, India, and this will, of course, open enormous opportunities, unprecedented opportunities for boosting trade between different regions of the world, especially in the Eurasian continent. This is what Belt and Road Initiative is about.
Then Uzbekistan will be fully plugged in, huh?
Of course. After that, we will not be concerned so much about our double landlocked status, and we will become like Liechtenstein.